U.S. Peace Building for the American Friends Service Committee, AFSC. After serving as a prosecuting attorney for 12 years in the state of New York, he decided to become an agent for ending the school-to-prison pipeline that had transformed the United States into an incarceration nation. Working with AFSC, he developed creative strategies for healing our young people, their families, and their communities, rather than destroying their futures through incarceration and its lifelong stigma. He is also a member of the Fridays at Fetterman's leadership team and has played an integral role in developing our weekly witness for peace in Gaza. Our speaker holds degrees in philosophy and law and has many years of experience as an attorney, educator, and community organizer for peace and social justice. We are fortunate that he is serving as an attorney advisor for the Philadelphia People's Tribunal on War Crimes and Genocide in Gaza. Please give a warm welcome to Louis Webke.
Didn't have to adjust the mic. Hi.
Hi.
How are we all doing? Okay? Alright, just two quick things. Normally when Terry and Robin invite me to speak, it's about 20 degrees and maybe snowing and raining. So I had to double check when I got to speak. Are you able to hear me now? I apologize for that. So I was just acknowledging that this is the first time I've been invited when the weather wasn't horrific. So I want to thank Terry and Robin for considering that.
We arranged it just for you.
We did it just for me. I appreciate that. You know, when I picked up one of the signs to join you all in the vigil, I, without intent, got this one. It says, ready to resist. But when I picked it up, I wondered, should there be an exclamation point or a question mark after it? So I'm going to invite you to answer that question for yourself. Not out loud, but just reflect for a moment. If you were holding this sign, would you put a question mark or an exclamation point at the end? All right, if you want to acknowledge it out loud, let's do it.
Exclamation point.
Think about both. Okay.
Ready to resist.
Any question marks? Gotcha. There are many people who would have question marks after this, right? All right. So thank you for that. So for 74 weeks, counting today, you all, this community has been, and you've taken on different strategies in response to this moment. You've pleaded with Fetterman. You've invited Fetterman. You've challenged Fetterman. Some of you may have shamed Fetterman. But I think at the end of the day, you depended on Fetterman to do the right thing. And you've been disappointed, am I correct?
Yeah.
Still challenging with the hearing? I'm sorry. The volume is as high as it'll get? All right, let me do the best I can. Speak closer to it. There you go. All right. So what do you do when someone disappoints you? There you go. In my community, you elevate the resistance. And one way to do that is to change from, we can figure this out, to we're going to hold you accountable. And I think that's where we are, Terry, right? This community, the Philadelphia community, has committed to holding Fetterman and all those who have been complicit in this genocide and these series of war crimes accountable. And I applaud you for that, and I will join you at the end of May to actualize that. But today I'm going to switch things a bit. And I'm going to tell you a quick story, and then I'm going to invite you into an exercise with me. So maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, my wife decided that we were going to renovate our bathroom. And exactly. And one of the biggest decisions we had to make was whether or not to put a mirror over the bathroom. And when you reach a certain age, a mirror has a different meaning. Right? So I wasn't super excited about it. She's lucky not to have the same challenges I have in terms of what you see when you look in a mirror. But so we ended up with a mirror. And it is what it is. But I'm going to invite you to put up a mirror. And that mirror is to your own accountability. So I'm going to ask us to, when we think about the prompts that I give you, to not answer them in the context of Fetterman or Trump or anyone else who we've identified as complicit, but I'm going to invite us and I'm going to do it also, to put up a mirror of my own accountability. What have I allowed? What have I not resisted? What have I been less than enthusiastic about in this moment? And to do that, the first thing I have to do is I have to recognize. So I'm going to invite us to just think for a minute. Is there anything I recognize in myself that I could do better in this moment? And if you're brave enough to speak it into the vigil, that's welcome. But hold it if you prefer. But is there anything that I recognize in myself that I need to be held accountable to?
Looking at our financial investments.
Paying your taxes, absolutely. Yeah, assessing our investments. Our failure to educate, absolutely, if we've done that, unfortunately. Anything else that you recognize in that mirror when you try to hold yourself or ourselves accountable?
Where we bank.
Absolutely. One more for me. Anyone else willing to lift up their own reflection? Where I have not been heard. I'm sorry?
Mindfulness, I meditate, spending time, quiet time.
Thank you all. The next prompt is, can I correct it? So let's spend a minute looking at where we may have fallen short, and is there opportunity to correct it, and are we making steps to correct it? Yeah, it's a prompt.
I moved my money to a credit card.
Appreciate that. Any other corrective measures we've taken?
Got rid of stocks.
Got rid of stocks, okay. To do things with love, thank you. When I reflect on what I see in the mirror around accountability, I realize that I made some choices about where I show up and where I leave it to others. And that is a thing that I am committed to correcting. I work for an organization that has an amazing history of resistance, but we do it in sometimes very isolated and segregated ways. And one of the frustrations I've seen both at AFSC and in the larger community is that people that look like me don't always show up in this space. And that's something that I have decided to do individually and to encourage others who I identify with by race to step into spaces while we, have our own struggles. We will certainly step in and step up in spaces that we may not even be invited to. And so I do think that when I judge my own accountability, that commitment is one of the changes that I will make. Is that making sense?
That red brick building is the Museum of
What
the
else do we
American
find
Revolution.
important when we think about accountability? Anything else?
Not getting into despair.
Yeah, giving up, right? I do give up.
3 blocks
I
down
do give up in my
Chestnut
work sometimes.
Street is
I
Independence
give
Hall.
up on people. And so the question that I'm prompting you all with now is there a movement that you've given up on? Is there this notion that it cannot be done, and I need to put my energy elsewhere? And if you've identified one in your personal life, please bring it into the mix. Have you given up? Have I given up on any necessary movement? If you want to hold it, that's okay too. It's hard to admit, but recently I've decided to give up on combating racism. And I don't know why, other than to have knowledge that Dad did it. Dad fought for a more just America so that his children would have the same rights the rights that other white children had. And he was unsuccessful. As a parent, I never thought I would be able to say that that's a fight I just don't have energy for. I don't know how to convince those who are holding that evil in their hearts and in their practices. I don't know what to do. So I fear that I have given up. And that is something I have to be held accountable to. And so as we all move into tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, if you've identified anything that you've given up on, I invite you to be frustrated by it as I am, and seize an opportunity if you find it to re-engage. Because giving up is a tool that they hold above us. Fatigue, inability to see change, are tools of the opposition. And all too often, we allow them to be effective. So as I close, we will hold Fetterman, the entire Pennsylvania delegation, the executive committees, Congress, everyone to account. But I invite us to hold ourselves to account. Thank you.
Thank you, Lois. Given me a lot to think about tonight, I'll say that. And make me think it's time to look in the mirror.